Yeah, I don't. Hey, you're gonna have to ask Noel that question, bro. I don't even know how to start to explain it, man. I tell my grandma the name. She's like, What is that, boy? What is that, boy?" She gets mad at me for the band being Modernity. So yeah, it was kind of a struggle for a while. People thought it was maternity, but no, it's Modernity. Apparently, it's like some old English word. That's about the gist of it.
I think it all started when I played a gig with Derek and Noel. Noel called me after the gig and wanted to put a group together with myself and Derek, and they're looking for a bass player. And we all went to school together and we knew Joe.
It was funny because Christian and Noel and Derek were in different small jazz groups at school. And so I would go and see them perform, and Christian and Derek both kill it. But I remember specifically watching Noel play, and he used to make the best faces when he played drums. He would get real into it and be just like, make all these weird faces.
I've been playing with Derek, saxophone player, in the group for a long time.
First, it was me and Noel. Like we were in combo together, and I wrote a few tunes, and it was like,
Derek, we have to play together. We have to make a group. We have to make a group.
I was like, nah, I'm not good enough for that, nah. But eventually he kept pestering me and like, going after it, and then eventually I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it.
So finally we pushed them, and finally made that group happen when we were all at FAU.
I think Derek is like the super quiet dude. Noel is will generally speak his mind about things without any filter, more or less.
A lot of the guys have this obsession with barbecue.
If we were to have one meal through the whole day of recording, it would be a full rack of baby back ribs from Mississippi Sweets.
Yeah.
As far as like me and Joe, I don't really know.
I think one of my favorite aspects about the band is that everybody has their own background and their own style that they bring to the table.
Noel and Joe have a lot of rock influences. Christian is a great jazz and blues influence. And me, I'm just mostly straight ahead and R&B.
What I like about working with Modernity is that these guys are really, really talented. Musically, I mean, Christian and Derek, they always play this game where like they hear like a car alarm ring on the side of the road, and they're like, "Oh, B flat," and then, they start naming the notes that are coming out of this freaking car alarm, and they're usually right.
It's says. Don't quote me on that though.
We have a new album out now called Zest.
I think before we recorded was probably my favorite part because we had. The four of us had never recorded together.
This is the first album that we do. This is the first album, personally, that I have ever done.
Noel had worked out this great deal to go record at Studio Center down in Miami. So we had this killer studio, really great equipment. We had Gary Vandy engineering it, so we had really great guys helping us out with this thing.
It's pretty magical being in a $1 million studio and like seeing all this great equipment and all that stuff, but the best part about that to me has always been after the recording is done and you sit in the mixing room and they've got these speakers that are like half the size of my car and your music's coming out of there. That's the best part.
I prefer playing live more, of course. There's honestly, there's more room for error.
Contrary to when you're in the studio, when you hear that mistake, you know that mistake is gonna come out on the record, and that's a totally different ball game.
It was a struggle. There was a lot of coffee to be drank and a lot of gutting through, but we got it down and we got it done.
It's been a really fun process. It's been a really frustrating process, but in the end, it's rewarding.
Derek wrote a lot of the music, brought it into rehearsals, so the bulk of it was already done before we recorded it.
For me, the writing process was quite simple. It's no magic to it. I just sat there at a piano and just came up with some tunes, and then I brought it to the guys, and then they add their flavor on it, and then it became a song.
All the songs all come from different life experiences.
The song titles on the album, a lot of them are just like everyday things, like little moments that might happen that we were all there.
we were hanging out one time at school on a park bench, and we were all just hanging out before class, and this girl walks by. You could see through her pants, and you could see her underwear. So we all had a really good laugh about that, and straight up, the next day at practice, Derek brought in this tune called See-Through Ins.
I'd have to say my favorite track on there is Modernity.
I would have to say Modernicity.
Modernicity.
My favorite track is not Modernity. My favorite track is Stay Black. I just love that song. I mean, that melody is just, people hear that melody and they always have it stuck in their head.
You can get the album on iTunes, Spotify,
You can get it on our own website, Modernity Music.
and Bandcamp.
You can also get it from us physically. You can come out to a show. You can get it. We bring it to all the shows as well.
Maybe some black market in China. I don't know.
I think we just try to stay true to ourselves. You know, we don't try to fall into any kind of like cliche styles of playing. I think we try to just bring our own styles and backgrounds to the table.
I want to have a jazz group that people who like hip hop can come in and listen to. People who really like rock, and I'm talking like heavy rock, like could listen to.
I think Modernity is trying to be a catalyst to the swinging pendulum, to where we can bring it back to sort of a fun thing that everybody can get down on.
It's not your average jazz album. It's not your average R&B album. I think the way that we interplay styles and the energy that we play with makes this album different.
I wouldn't be the drummer that I am today, and this band would not exist, and this record would not exist if it wasn't for literally the music all over the world. So open your eyes and see as much music as you can. And generic last answer, get the album.